Okay, so now, like I was saying, we've got the structure of our house drawn. We used a cube to draw it. We used a cube to draw it here. We did the guidelines to help us do the proper measurements of where the windows and the doors go. Now we're going to shade it, and a lot of the shading that you do will be with mark making. So if you look at the top of the roof, there's markings here that are supposed to mimic shingles. So I'm just going to do some little scribbles that follow the angle of the roof. Where it's darker, your scribbles you're going to make darker. Where it's lighter, you don't press down as hard, and you can make them farther apart, and it will make it where it's lighter that way. There is a shade right here. There's going to be a highlight on the trim of it. Okay, so I was continuing with the markings. Wherever it's darker, you make a heavier mark by bearing down, and wherever it's lighter, you do a lighter mark by not bearing down as much. And it also makes it appear lighter if they are farther apart from each other. There's also a highlight where the trim is. On the side, it's almost completely black, so you want to make your pencil get very dark and use the circle method again. You want a sharp edge, and you do that by putting two different values next to each other, and do not separate it by a line. Now it gets a little lighter as it goes down, because you can see where the copy of the house gets a little spotty down here. So I'm lifting off the pressure. Going back and putting my shadow from the roof right here. I'm going to put a shadow from the roof right here. Then you have what appears to be shingles on this roof, and I'm doing little dashes that are farther apart from each other. And you want them to be parallel with the top and bottom of that roof on that part of the house. I'm going to shade this side of the chimney black. I'm going to erase the line that outlines that. Shade it in with my 2B pencil. I'm going to shade in the dark window pane of this window. Put a shadow under the top of the door. Then I'm going to put siding, planking, I guess you would say. And they're lighter lines that go across the house. You want to make these parallel with the bottom of the house. All right, then you go in and put the window panes. And they're little black window panes. They don't have to be perfect. It's kind of just a suggestion of them. Put a suggestion of a window on this door. All right, now I'm going to do the siding on the smaller part of the house. I'm going to go back and make my blacks blacker. There's really not much of a place to use your shading stump on this, but maybe on the cast shadow. The cast shadow is the width of the big part of the house. So I'm going to measure this. Here's the width of this house. It should go all the way to the line right here to where the paper is divided into fourths. And you want the angle of it to be similar to the angle of your house. And then I'm going to shade in what I see that it has on the picture. All right, so I would not use your shading stump on this one, but do go back in and clean up the edges. And then you have your house.